Let's begin there. So J&J halting its late-stage trials for its vaccine candidate, this unexplained illness. And I'm wondering just how concerning it is to you that it's had to do this.
Well, I think certainly we need to hear more about what this illness is. And as you point out, there's something called a Data Safety Monitoring Board, a DSMB, which is a completely independent body that will monitor the progress of any human clinical trial. And their job is to really ensure the health and safety of all the participants in this trial. And this is basically standard process for a clinical trial. If someone gets sick for any reason whatsoever, vaccine or non-vaccine related, they're going to push pause and they're going to investigate to make sure that it truly isn't vaccine related. We saw this actually happen with the AstraZeneca trial probably about 3-4 weeks ago. And after their investigation, outside of the United States, they did end up continuing with that trial. So we'll hear more about what this is hopefully in the days to come. And we'll have a better understanding of whether or not it's related to the vaccine or not.
It's interesting. You raise a good point. We don't know whether this patient was in the placebo group or in the vaccine candidate group, so there could be an unexplained illness not even at all related to this. So this is part of what they will review. But, you know, in this time, we've talked about vaccine candidates and trials, lots of concern about political pressure, rushing a vaccine to market. Does this give a moment sort of comfort or reassurance that the scientific rigor is in place, Dr. Bogoch?
Absolutely it does. I think it's terrific. And in fact, many of the companies that are involved with creating and studying these vaccines actually got together and signed a joint declaration saying, we need to get this right. We need to have public trust in our products. If a vaccine is going to be implemented and successful, it has to have wide uptake. We're not even going to submit these to governments for approval until we're satisfied that we have a high quality product. So, of course, there's multiple steps along the pathway to make sure that you are conducting your science safely and releasing a safe product into a market. But of course, when these are released, we want to make sure that they, A, work, and B, that they're safe. And what we're seeing is the standard conduct of a clinical trial. Look, this might amount to nothing. And we'll carry on, and they'll carry on with their program, and they'll release a vaccine. Or they'll find out that perhaps during a phase 3 clinical trial, this was a meaningful event, and there'll be problems with this. We just don't know yet. And of course, I think if we take a step back and look at the big picture, of the 170 some odd vaccines that are in development, most of them won't make it to market. And at various stages along the pathway, some will drop out for various reasons. They either don't work or the safety profile isn't acceptable. And that's the scientific process. Of course, on the flip side of the coin, we know that some will make it to market. Whether or not this one does or doesn't, we don't know yet. And that's exactly why they're doing the clinical trials in the way that they should be performed.